Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about a really cool idea I had for the possible continuation of games like X-Wing and Armada through an Asmodee company in an official capacity, dealing with the quote-unquote increased and cost of pre-painted miniatures and unsustainability of those product lines and so on and so forth. Because frankly, I think that's kind of a lame excuse when I think there's definitely really cool options that exist that would allow these games to continue to thrive and also be even more profitable than they've ever been before. And the answer for that lies in cardboard ships, or at least punchboard ships. I'm going to talk a little bit about this in today's video. If you guys are new here to the channel, I do talk an awful lot about Star Wars and tabletop games. If you like either of those two, this is a great place for you. I'd love to have you stick around. Plus, we're going to be announcing the winner of our $25 Amazon gift card giveaway, the most recent one. We run these all the time. If you want a chance to enter to win any of these, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Plus, you can check out, we still have the painting competition going in the Discord right now. So definitely check the social media links down in the video description below. And of course, if you're interested in supporting the channel, it is helped make all of this possible by patrons. And if you're interested in that, there's links for all of that down in the video description below. So, quick recap. Star Wars Armada and Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game were both originally made by Fantasy Flight Games, were transferred over to Atomic Mass Games, where they were then canceled. And so these games are no longer in production and really never saw much development out of Atomic Mass Games. But what we did get, at least for X-Wing, was in the way of cardboard and, of course, rules. And one of the reasons they stopped making these games, but they did continue with Star Wars Legion, is that Legion, at least while it does have plastic, was not a pre-painted, pre-assembled game, and that was one of the problems that Atomic Mass Games had, is that they said they would lose money if they were to sell these games, and I feel like that's not telling the whole story. While it may not necessarily be a bold-faced lie, it is certainly is I think a misrepresentation of the facts, because all it would take is for the cost of the ship to exceed the cost of what it takes to make the ship. But again, that goes into the business side of the house, and I think the idea is to make a Star Destroyer profitable. It might have had to have sold for $200 or more, which, considering what it's costing people to buy them on the aftermarket now, I think a lot of people would still buy those, but maybe not enough to justify the entire movement. I'm not sure. What I do know is that there's definitely a demand for these games, and there are a lot of different ways that you can go about doing them. One of the ways people are doing them now to get stuff that is out of print and won't be made anymore is to look at doing 3D printing for their ship models and all of that. And that is definitely one of the ways of the future. Again, these games have a lot of appeal beyond just the miniatures, though the game systems themselves are also really good. And that's one of the things I'm hoping to leverage with my suggestion, and that involves cardboard ships. Now, cardboard has a lot of different types. There's thin cardboard. Of course, companies have been making terrain out of cardboard, everything ranging from thin cardstock to really thick, like punchboard, all the way up to like MDF and HDF. There's lots of companies that have been doing very, very interesting things with cardboard. And the beauty of that is that the cardboard can already be pre-painted, so then you just need stuff to be able to assemble, and then you don't have to worry about painting it, because the graphics and all that stuff can be printed on the paper, the cardboard, the MDF, HDF, or the punchboard, or whatever type of cardboard you decided to go with. Now, I don't imagine that this would have happened under AMG, as they're not primarily a cardboard company, but they do actually make cardboard, though, because for all of their games they have little punchboards that go into every single expansion. And so it stands to reason that continuing to produce cardboard should be very, very easy for any Asmodee company, or just about any board game company. So there's other options where they get a lot more detailed. For example, some of these 4D puzzles, which are basically kind of card stock that has multiple lots and lots of sheets of these, and you cut them out and you assemble them kind of like you would a model. Now, these are very, very complicated, although they can do an awful lot of stuff with them. This one kit comes with, a Lambda shuttle, a couple of TIE fighters, and, of course, the Star Destroyer, which this one I thought was a really nice graphic because it kind of illustrates what could be possible for either Armada or X-Wing, or both. And there's definitely a solution to making these that does lie in the of course the cardboard sort of solution space, but I think there's a lot more than that, and so what I would really like to see happen, what I think is feasible, is to use the thick punchboard type card stock and have different pieces that will slide and fit together. Now, games have been doing this forever, and the concept is quite simple. I'm going to use a couple of examples from the Street Fighters miniatures board game, which is a really, really cool game. Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter, or the whole Street Fighter series. There was a Kickstarter put out a couple years ago, and they do a lot of terrain in this game. And it's as simple as having a piece of cardboard with a big piece cut out, another piece of cardboard with a big piece cut out, and you slide these in together to make a 3D piece. Now, it's not completely rendered all the way around, of course, but it stands up on its own, and it serves its purpose as terrain in the game. You can do more robust versions of this with trees. We've got two, punchboard types of trees. This one with a line at the top, this one with a line at the bottom, and when we slide them in together, we get ourselves a fully blown piece of terrain that is a tree. Now, the cool thing about making you have a 3D tree here, is that you have a fully 3D piece. All you had to do is punch out two pieces of cardboard and stick them together. I didn't have to paint this, I didn't have to glue this, and the assembly was pretty much non-existent. So it was very, very, very simple. Of course, you can add to things like this. You can add multiple pieces. There are some more advanced pieces. Well, I don't have it assembled in front of me. There was an entire arcade cabinet that you could do, and I grabbed the thing right here. Right, this is an entire thing, which is very, very cool. Little sneeze. All right. But there's also this piece here, which is like a cart, and this is like, all right, here's this cart, and you can kind of stick them together, and you can make more complex pieces from all of these. It's a really easy thing to do, compared to something like that. To actually making the miniatures pre-assembled, pre-painted, designing the sprues and all of that. Now you just have to design a couple of pieces of cardboard. And especially with games like X-Wing and Armada, which are primarily like top-down games, you really, I gotta imagine a TIE fighter would be incredibly easy to do for something like that. And X-Wing also, too. You got two pieces that are going to go like that, and another one that slides on the front. I don't think it would be that hard. I have a hard time imagining that it would be particularly difficult to try and do that. And I think Star Destroyers and those type of ships, again, you're looking primarily face down. If you have one big triangle, and then one other piece that kind of represents the vertical axis, and then like maybe two more pieces that also clip into that, one being like that middle piece, and then one being like the bridge at the top, you could have your whole Star Destroyer vibe for a single sheet of cardboard. It would cost you probably 10 cents to print. As opposed to $200 to try to sell. So I feel like that would be an excellent solution. Now, obviously, that would not please everybody. And where I go with this is that it would allow you to still continue to develop the game. It would allow the game to still be profitable. If you have the same bases, you could have a similar base system, so where if somebody had all of their cardboard ships but opted to want to 3D print a ship and put it on the base instead of the cardboard piece, you could still allow the game to support that. And that's kind of where I think that the sweet spot might have been if Asmodee wanted to keep these games going, switch them over to a cardboard model and allow 3D printed versions to stand in. This is kind of what we've seen with games like Outer Rim, where you might play as a specific character, but people and again, Fantasy Flight kind of stopped doing miniatures in their games and started doing cardboard standees instead a couple of years ago. And so I know a lot of people who have taken the cardboard standees and the cardboard tokens and swapped them out for miniatures. It was really easy to do for a lot of those characters because those characters already existed in other games like Imperial Assault and Star Wars Legion. And so a lot of people would take those out. And the same thing goes for the ships. People would take some of the small ships from games like Star Wars Rebellion, and you put those on the space line, or 3D print their own if it was a ship that wasn't in any of those games yet. So it's very possible to do. It's very, I think it's very easy to do, to at least make a cardboard version that people can swap in their own 3D printed miniatures if they want to. And if you used the same game engine, they would allow all the players that already have stuff to not really have to buy a whole lot of new stuff. I'd still buy one of each of the new things, but again, if you were to like maybe launch a second edition or maybe third edition if it was X-Wing, and did this in a cardboard format, allowing the old ships to still be used in proxy of them, but keep the same bases, I think it'd be a fantastic option and a way to keep these games going. But that's just a thought. Again, I don't expect Asmodee to actually do that, but I do hope that maybe somebody's listening to this thinking, you know what, and the next time we want to cancel a game, maybe we look at, instead of just completely killing it, we downgrade the components a little bit and allow people who want to 3D print and make their own stuff to still be able to do that. But that's a thought, and I want to hear what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think that it, as a cost-saving measure, it's something they should have considered, maybe done a trial run of it? Or do you think it's better to just watch a game die rather than to try something new? I'm personally in the camp of let's take some chances here, especially if it's only with physical components. It doesn't necessarily mean we need to change the rules or ruin people's current gaming experience. Because frankly, a lot of people got into these games for the beautiful miniatures, and it would be a way to continue those games, to continue development of those games, to get new product out there. I sometimes ask myself, what would happen? What would I give to see FFG come up with another wave, an official, play-tested, balanced, and designed and licensed wave of Star Wars Armada? The only catch being that I'd have to come up with the miniatures on my own. Like I'd have to 3D print them or something like that. How would I feel about that? And I think would feel great about that compared to where we are now. Whereas it's just forget it. Turn the lights off. On both of these games. I would love to be able to see official development. Continue and keep going with these games, even if it means if I want the high quality miniatures, I'll have to get them myself. A lot of people are doing that anyway. A lot of people like to proxy miniatures anyway. People do that in all of these games. People always did that in X-Wing and Armada. People have been doing that in Legion forever too. I don't like the Leia sculpt, so I'm going to get my own Leia sculpt. I can't tell you how many different versions of Leia I've seen in Star Wars Legion that people have ordered from third-party sites. Again, people like to customize their games and have fun with it, and if people are already willing to do that, take advantage of that. Again, that's something that I think Asmodee and other companies should consider doing if the alternative is to just completely cancel a game. But that's my thought. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and jump in our Discord and keep the discussion going there as well. I also have a winner to announce today for the $25 Amazon gift card. A giveaway. Today's winner is Gene O'Matherly 6742. Congratulations, Gene. Go ahead and shoot me an email at mailcrabbok@gmail.com and I'll get you squared away. If you did not win, don't worry. There's plenty more giveaways that will occur, and we'll probably also do 12 Days of Life Day, which is a whole lot more giveaways that are going to happen in December, and bonuses also for patrons, and of course lots of fun stuff. Plus there'll be some more in Discord and all that other stuff. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys help make this whole channel possible. Thank you so much for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. The spice must flow. So say we all. And always wash your socks.